Greetings, combatants! In today's video, I will review the Vought Tower gears and also show my Fatal Black Dragon Tower reward at the end. This is the talent tree for Boss Battle 200 of the Fatal Black Dragon Tower. This is the team: Johnny, Sonya, and Cassie. The battle is much easier now because they've changed the regeneration modifier to vampirism. So, since the battle is easy to beat, we'll focus on reviewing the Vought Tower gears. Let's begin. Let's start with the uncommons. MP Grenade. 50% chance that on tag-in, an EMP grenade is tossed at the opponent, applying bleed, fire, or poison for 15 seconds. This is basically another Psych Bomb, but with dot, and for an uncommon, it's a busted piece in the game. When the EMP grenade is tossed, there's a 35% chance to apply stun. Again, just like Psych Bomb. Mother's Love, 100% team recovery boost. An absolutely busted uncommon for Crypt and Realm Clash modes. Also gives 40% opponent critical hit chance reduction. That's an average effect at max out, but still good. PR Stunt, 20% power generation boost. This is busted for an uncommon gear. Damage received from special attacks is reduced by 20%. Good in certain survival or boss situations. Conclusion: the uncommons of this tower are absolutely busted. Strong effects, high utility, and perfect for even F2P players. Now let's move on to the rares. Combat Service Sidearm. This is Cassie's Brutality rare. 30% chance for all special attacks to be unblockable. Now, I have a question for NRS. Why did you add this effect to a gear that's specifically designed for Cassie? Let's break it down. We have only one Diamond Cassie in the entire game. 2 of those Cassies already have unblockable chance on specials. And the third, a Gold Cassie, is completely outdated. So this effect is totally useless for Cassie. 6% power generation boost after performing a combo ender. Stacks up to 30% and resets after tag out. This effect is clearly made for one-man army cards like MK11 Scorpion, Classic Scorpion, MK1 Mylena, and many more. It's a busted effect, simple and powerful. 10% critical hit chance boost for every bar of power spent by the user, with a maximum boost of 40%. Did you guess who benefits the most? Yeah, MK11 Liu Kang. He gains a bar of power on tag-in, and the full Strike Force team can also take great advantage of this effect. So, while the unblockable bonus might not help Cassie directly, the rest of the effects make her rare gear genuinely strong. Special Agent's Fetch Trick. This is Sonya's Friendship rare. 35% basic attacks unblockable chance, and yes, it's an accessory. Unblockable chance is always busted, especially on basic attacks. Makes pressure and combo setup way easier. 15% chance to steal 3% of the opponent's max power on successful basic combo attacks. It doesn't mention combo ender, so we can assume it works on any basic hit. That means Sonya just got buffed. She can now snare enemies consistently with weak point attacks. And this power steal effect works for all characters using the gear.
Now that's progress.
For every bar of power spent by the user's team, gain a 25% critical hit damage boost for 15 seconds. This bonus can stack up to 3 times, which means a 75% critical hit damage boost total. That's absolutely busted on high damage characters and teams, perfect for nukers and aggressive builds. Vought Prime Armor, 30% incoming damage reduction when the user is below 50% health. Not that great if you play aggressively, like I do. It's more of a defensive effect, so not really my style. All opponent team's characters need to collect 20% more power to fill each power bar. Basically the same as Varmint's Lucky Hat, but with a lower percentage. Still decent. On tag out, gain 20 seconds of Team Shield. Now this is the busted effect. It gives your whole team a massive survivability boost every time you tag out. Great for controlling damage and timing counters. So overall, this piece is very good, mainly because of that Team Shield effect. Now it's time for the epics. Combat Service Emma. This is one of the most busted epics in the tower. Let's break it down. Apply Despair on tag in, and then every 10 seconds while the user is tagged in. Busted? What is Despair? It removes positive effects from the opponent, including regeneration, shields, buffs, and more. And the fact that it triggers every 10 seconds makes it incredible for long fights and boss battles. 100% chance to apply Shield Break for 7 seconds before any special attack. Another busted effect, especially for killing bosses faster. No need to waste setup time. It's instant and reliable. At the start of the match and on tag in, Cassie's drone creates an energy bubble equal to 25% of her max health. The bubble applies Dispel, absorbs all attack damage, reduces incoming critical damage by 50%. When the energy barrier is depleted, it explodes, applying Fracture to the enemy. This piece gives damage soak, buff removal, protection, and debuffs all in one. Okay, so this effect is like MK1 Scorpion's passive, and he makes you invincible, so boss Cassie will be annoying now. And the last part about Fracture, it's a new debuff that we don't know yet what it does. But my speculation is, it disables the X-ray. For example, Cripple disables the SP2, Silence disables the SP1, so Fracture will disable the SP3. I might be wrong though. Deal 1% max health damage upon applying Despair from this equipment. Additionally, copy opponents' removed positive buffs for yourself. The copied buffs can stack. Unique personal effects are not affected. So this is a very underwhelming effect for a maxed out epic. Why? Because it only works on Despair applied with this gear. The effect is good. You can deal 1% max health damage every 10 seconds to bosses, and also copy their buffs. So overall, this gear is good, but the Despair condition limits its full potential. Now, Sonya's epic, Special Agent's Butt, gain luck at the start of the match, and on tag in for 20 seconds. Luck is always good, so this effect is busted. What 10% chance to apply Snare on critical basic hits for 15 seconds. Now we can say goodbye to weak point attacks when using this gear. This is a very good effect. On every 2 combo enders, Sonya Blade's turret follows up by shooting an explosive, which applies one of 3 negative effects in sequence for 15 seconds. Blind, Weaken, and Incurability. Another busted effect, Sonya got a huge buff with this gear.
Now that's progress.
For each active debuff on the opponent, the user's special attack power cost is reduced by 10%. Maximum reduction, 50%. Another busted effect, SPs become nearly free if you keep applying debuffs. So overall, Sonya's epic is busted. Offensive, supportive, and great synergy with her kit. Now on to the compound. 15% lethal blow chance boost. Very good for high damage cards that rely on burst hits. Lethal blows, Vampire, 30% of the damage, up to 40% of max health when below 40% HP. This effect is average and only works when you're low on health. Once every 10 seconds while the user is tagged in, apply a random debuff to the opponent and a random buff to the user for 10 seconds. Negative effects include Snare, Fracture, Bane. Positive effects include Shield, Power, Speed, good effect, but it really shines only at max out. Nosh shot 40% resistance to all debuffs. I think it's 30% at Fusion 0. So yeah, debuff resistance is already busted, especially when it's universal. 50% opponent unblockable attack chance reduction. Clearly designed for AI. It's an average effect, not very useful for players in most modes. Any teammate has a 40% chance to reflect 30% of damage back to the opponent on their special attacks. Again, another effect designed for AI and bosses. Could be annoying in tower fights, but not a player favorite. So overall, gears for this tower are busted, except the last 2, which are just average for an epic. Now it's time for Cabal's and Homelander's passives. Let's start with Homelander. He has Cripple on SP1, Deathmark on SP2, and Fracture on SP3. These are all busted effects, way better than Jairus, a favorite card of the MKM Discord mods. His passive is called God Complex. At the start of the match, a random opponent is selected as the archenemy, and a random teammate is selected as the parental figure. So like Joker and Lizard Noob, you get a designated opponent, but this time, only one can really hurt him. Everyone, except the archenemy, deals 50% less damage to Homelander. So if the archenemy dies early, you're in trouble. The other enemies will barely do damage. That means Boss Homelander is going to be super annoying, especially if your main damage dealer isn't picked as archenemy. Only the archenemy can deal real damage to him. When Homelander defeats an opponent, he gains 1 stack of dominance, or 2 stacks if defeating the archenemy. Each stack grants 25% attack boost, so this particular effect is very good against Resurrection modifier and Resurrection enemies. While both the parental figure and Homelander are alive, and one of them is active, they gain bonding effects over time. Each bonding gives 1% lethal chance boost for SP2, up to a maximum of 33 stacks. If parental figure with the maximum bonding is defeated, Homelander wreaks blind revenge and deals extreme damage to the active opponent. So this effect triggers when parental figure dies. But the question is, how much damage will it do? If the damage is good, then we can use it on sacrificial lamb characters, such as classic Ermac. Parental figure gains 15% speed boost, 25% power generation boost, and 50% debuff resistance. Wow, his team passive is busted. Imagine Homelander, Classic Smoke, and Classic Scorpion. That's 100% debuff resistance for Classic Scorpion if you select him as the parental figure. It works with other classic characters too. You can also make MK11 Scorpion 100% debuff resistant by using 2 debuff resistance gears on him. Homelander's support value is busted for Tower. Now I have to test if he is a good fighter or not. Overall, he is a good support card just by his passive. Now it is time for my favorite classic character, Classic Cabal. First thing first, he is Outworld, and Homelander is Nomad, by the way. So he has Snare on SP1, Shield Break on SP2, and Power Generation on SP3. His passive is called Adrenaline. When Classic Cabal tags in, he stuns the opponent with his dash, same as the other Cabal cards. Classic Cabal gains Venom on a successful tag-in attack and on combo enders. Each stack of Venom slightly increases speed, gives a 5% power generation boost, and a 3% chance to counterattack the opponent's basic attack. So much to digest. He gains increased speed on tag-in and combo enders, as well as power generation boost, and a chance to counter the opponent's basic attacks, like Sindel. Busted! When Classic Cabal collects 3 stacks of Venom, he can use them to gain Adrenaline for 10 seconds. While Adrenaline is active, it gives Classic Cabal a speed boost from the collected Venom and a 30% unblockable special attacks chance. Okay, this effect works for 10 seconds when Adrenaline is active, useful for many situations. It gives you special attacks unblockable chance. Performing SP1 minigame at 80% or more will apply poison to the opponent. So first thing first, this effect works the same like Classic Scorpion. He applies the bleed and Cabal applies the poison. So the Classic team got more powerful now, and Cabal can replace Classic Reptile. Also, he is very useful in region battles now. Snare plus poison is a busted combination. Team passive. Each poison applied on an opponent grants Cabal's team a 15% damage boost to combo enders for the rest of the match, up to a maximum of 75%. Pretty average effect. Combo ender damage is not that good anyway. Classic teammates heal under the influence of adrenaline. Now that's a busted effect. Classic teammates can heal for 10 seconds, and you can trigger that multiple times. So overall, both characters are busted. Now NRS is making progress and releasing characters with good passives that can actually replace our old busted cards. So that's it for today's video, guys. If this video is informative to you, please apply adrenaline on the like button and select the subscribe button as parental figure. A special thank you to our channel member, Daniel Ferdaus. Your extra support is appreciated. Peace out.
Thank you. Thank you.